Welcome to GT Cars. My name is Eric.
And I'm Jesse.
And this is the all-new BMW X1. So all-new X1. This is the i20, the only model that was available until they just announced the M Sport version. Yeah, exactly. But first BMW on the channel, so welcome BMW, of course, on the channel. And,
hopefully not the last.
Hopefully not the last. We'll see.
Maybe we'll rip it to shreds and never get one again, but you know.
Find out. Subscribe for more reviews and hit the bell. But yeah, we of course, I've tested the GLA, so the direct competitor to this, right? And we're going to see how they kind of stack up.
I know you love that.
Actually, I did like the GLA. The GLA was kind of, I mean, it was a little expensive, but these kind of luxury cars and German luxury cars, they're never really a good value. So first of all, take a look at the exterior, then we're going to take a look at the interior, we're going to drive it, of course, sum it all up in the final thoughts. With that being said, what do we think of this all-new X1?
First of all, the color?
Yeah, so this is Cape York Green Metallic.
That's a mouthful.
It definitely is a mouthful.
It's also an eyeful because it's a nice color.
Ooh, nice one. So I like this. So this turquoise color, honestly, it probably doesn't work on a lot of cars. But it does work on BMWs, especially with our normally sized kidney grills that aren't like, you know, like a beaver up there. I really like how this looks. I think they nailed the design on the new X1.
Yeah, a lot of their designs as of late have been super controversial with their front ends, and I personally haven't been a fan, but this is a nice little departure from that.
Exactly, it's a little modest.
They're basically just taking what they did wrong with their other designs and toning it down a little bit.
I agree, yeah. Also, by the way, the grills and down here, this can all close off, so we have better fuel economy and all that.
And this is the X-Line package, just
exactly, $1,350 extra, but gives you some nice accents. Wheels, what do we think? These 19-inch wheels?
They don't look like 19s. They look a little bit small for this car.
They look like 17s. But yeah, like you said, you know what? I'm a big fan of like smaller wheels because that always gives you nicer ride quality. And honestly, I like the design. It's not too sporty. It suits the X1's character.
Yeah, you go bigger wheels, you get worse ride quality, probably worse fuel mileage.
Exactly. So good choice, BMW. Not forcing us on like 20s or something. Side profile. Some interesting stuff down below, right? Because with the visual clutter kind of being reduced, and of course, kind of like lifting the car and making it more sporty with the black accents as
very
we know
subdued.
it.
Not a lot of lines going on.
Yeah, we just have like this sharp crease pretty much running up there. I do like it though. And moving on to the back, like honestly, I think overall, I really like how this
looks. It just works. There's nothing fancy. It just works. It's nice.
I agree. Should we see if the interior is fancy though? Because that's the BMW after all.
It's hot. Let's get in the car.
Oh God, yeah. All right, inside the BMW X1, and as we know from the Mercedes, well, I know from the Mercedes GLA, you know, these crossover, these kind of subcompact in entry level luxury cars are never quite as nice. As it turns out, that's just Mercedes.
With the
exception. Yeah, right? So this is really nice.
Yeah, it's nicer than it should be.
It is actually like every bit of, like all the materials are really nice. The leathers are solid but soft.
There's two exceptions.
Yes. No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Two exceptions to that. We got, this area here.
Yeah,
this area here, soft plastic, which is forgivable. The only thing for me that I don't like is this.
Yeah, honestly, the handle is the only point where you do notice like
a little flex, a little cheap.
Where like it could be a little better, but honestly, looking at the GLA, you're looking for the places where it doesn't feel cheap. Compared to this, which is great. Like even this kind of free-floating center console, like I can yank on this.
It's pretty solid.
And nothing really happens. Like it just wiggles very minorly. But yeah, this whitish, creamish interior.
Love it.
$0 option. We have the eucalyptus floorwood, $250. That's it.
I would spec this.
Honestly,
personally.
I like this spec a lot. It's very interesting. You have the contrast stitching. You have very nice ambient lighting.
Not overdone.
All around. It's also very strong. Normally, you can only go for like red or pinks. To have really like at night to have that feel, but even like blues and greens look very vibrant in this, and it's just honestly, it's
steering wheel feels great.
The steering wheel is so nice and soft.
Like this here is really nice.
This is honestly, this is a bit of a revelation coming. I've been in multiple Mercedes products. You've been in some of them as well. This beats out much more expensive Mercedes, and this is the entry level BMW. I am a big fan of this.
I'm a huge fan of this, considering, I mean, we'll talk about price point later, but
this is, there's a lot to like. Talking a bit more about usability, comfort, and all that. First of all, seats.
Very comfortable.
I like them. I think they look good. They're comfy, nice cushiony headrest. We do have a bit of bolstering.
We don't have massaging. We don't have ventilation.
Yes. So massage is pretty much non-existent in this level. Ventilation might be something you want to have, but we have heated in here, just like a heated steering wheel. I'm fine with that. Although to be fair, it's like 31.5 degrees right now, so
It's really hot.
it would be nice to have ventilated seat, but at least our AC is pretty strong. You don't get a normal center console. You just have this little like flap, but I think they did that because usually in subcompact SUVs, if you put in like a center console, you get like this tiny cubby. So with this all being open, you get much more like actual usable space.
Kind of like it.
I like it. We have 2 cup holders. We have the big wireless charger.
And speaking of usable space, I kind of like what they did here. I think more manufacturers should do this. You got this vertical wireless charger, which doesn't use up flat space.
Exactly. So it's much more basically compact, and you can fit way bigger phones. Like I have like in my S21
You can fit like an
Plus,
iPad in there.
Yeah, like you could literally fit an iPad in there. It's that big. I like this. We don't have a volume knob up here, just down here next to my modes and all that. Oh, sorry, I turned on the volume. And lastly though, up front, I think we can talk about iDrive 8. This is the new infotainment for BMW.
Which I generally like. There's some user experience issues that I've come across.
What do you mean? We have a selfie camera. Let's take a selfie and actually upload this. It's up here. There we go.
There we go.
I'll put that in the video if I remember to download it.
Really, that's just used to spy on you, but you know, it's okay.
Yeah, it's probably like the CCP saying hi. No, jokes aside, I really like iDrive 8. It's not like the most intuitive at first because there's a lot of swipe downs and this, and some things feel a little hidden, but once you get used to it, I like it a lot. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless.
Thank you.
And what's beautiful, it integrates perfectly in your gauge cluster.
My iPhone, yeah, CarPlay
Yes.
did not work.
So CarPlay does work. I don't know if that's an Apple limitation or a BMW limitation, but I know that my Android Auto, if I have the map in the gauge cluster, and as soon as I turn on Google Maps navigation, it replaces that map with the Google Maps screen, which is really nice. I love this a lot. It's great to use.
It's a rare Android W.
Pretty common, actually. Pretty common, actually. No, honestly. Oh, and the little things I like is this screen, which shows us the car, and like everything you do, I put on the high beams, like bam, in there. Indicators, steering wheel. Even if you
Really
move,
cool.
it blurs the stuff. It's so gimmicky.
But
it's good.
why isn't it the same color as our car?
I think it is. It's just
Is it?
shaded.
Maybe
It's just
it is.
look. It's just shaded.
Maybe it
That's
is.
why it's like. But no, honestly, up front.
But I want to mention a few issues I
Yes.
had with it.
Okay.
So first of all, my modes. So driving mode, if you want to switch into sport mode, maybe it's just me. It's kind of annoying. You got to do this. You got to click here. Then
Yeah.
you have to activate it.
For the
And then
traction control,
if you're
yeah.
in CarPlay, it doesn't go back to CarPlay. So then you got to go back home, and then you got to click CarPlay or Android Auto.
Fair enough. Okay,
a bit
I get
much.
that. And if we have to add a complaint, climate stuff.
That was
is
my
in the
next
infotainment.
complaint.
At least this is always here, so you can always adjust it. But if you want to adjust like the fan speed, you got to go into climate menu and then
Click it,
adjust this.
And then you got to go back to
you
home
gotta
and
go
then back to
back.
CarPlay.
Yeah,
It's
so
like,
some minor tweaks,
Right.
but honestly, I'm still very happy with this, and I think this is one of the best infotainments it is. And it's very
Yes.
pretty. It's very pretty.
It looks very good.
Okay.
But we have to put our nitpicks in, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's a review after all. But if we want to move on a little back, first of all, we have a big sunroof, also an option. But I like it a lot. And then we move towards the back seats.
Plenty of room.
Especially headroom is great.
More headroom than I expected. If you're like 6'4", you could probably sit in there comfortably.
Yeah.
Leg room is good. Seats are a little bit firm.
On
But
the firmer side, I'm comfy. We don't have any ventilation or heated
Right.
seats back there. But just like in the Encore, sorry BMW for mentioning a Buick in the same review as you, you can put like your seat, your feet fit under the seat in front, so you do have actually a good amount of legroom. The only compromise you really make back there is that what is leather up front turns into plastic, but everything you touch remains leather.
Right.
Big fan.
Middle seat, kind of like a huge compromise, but it is.
Yeah,
what it
I mean
is.
in a subcompact, right? Like
You got 2 USB-C back there.
2 years.
And your cup holders. No frills, but
Exactly.
But serviceable. Moving on to the trunk.
Moving on to the trunk, so we get 25.7 cubic feet of space just like that, and if we put on the second row seat, we go 57.2, which is actually
And it's a
quite-
split.
It's a, yeah, so it's a 40-20-40 split, so if you only have like skis or so, you can just reach them through without having to compromise on the 4
I kinda like that.
capacity, which is really nice. We have grocery bag hangers in the back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan.
It's
of
a
the whole
solid package. It's
Yeah.
a solid package. There's not a lot missing from here. I mean, of course, ventilated seats would be awesome. Massaging seats would be awesome. But again, that's the class we're dealing with here.
Exactly. So, should we take a look at how this drives though?
We should. And there's some cool sounds that come out of this vehicle.
Oh yeah. All right, out in the BMW X1. We're in sport mode, and that means traction control and DSC off. Brake torque, not very loud to be fair. Oh, a little bogged down. Oh, there we go.
There goes the turbo.
Oh wow, that DCT can shift if she wants to. And honestly, not terrible for like the entry level smallest engine. X1, I'm super happy with it. We have a 2-liter turbocharged inline 4. Let me actually go back into the mode where I have to tap. And yeah, so we have a 2-liter inline 4 producing 241 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque sent through all 4 wheels through a 7-speed dual clutch transmission.
Not big numbers, but there's still some engagement here in the drive, and there's some awesome sounds which I really want to try and capture.
Yeah,
Some
we'll
of those
do
turbo
that.
sounds.
What was that? You're the expert on getting the turbo sound. Was it sport mode? And then
You don't even have to put it in sport mode.
you just send it?
Just send it and then let go of the gas. And let go. Now, if we had our windows open, you'd be able to hear it. From outside the car, it's very apparent.
We'll show you. We'll
Yeah.
show you a bit.
It's actually really fun and unexpected.
No, it's fun. You showed it to me once. I was like, okay, wow, this is cool. You hear the blow valve and all that. But yeah, so honestly, power-wise, I at no point felt that I'm underpowered. I think it has really nice pulling power. The DCT reacts really well to all my inputs. I generally like it.
However,
Yes.
there is some turbo lag.
There is some turbo lag if I just...
There are a few times where I wanted to punch it, I wanted to catch a red, sorry, not a red light, catch a yellow light.
Yeah.
And I was felt myself waiting for the push.
Almost snitched on yourself there.
Yeah.
No,
run every red.
but that and the start-stop.
Oh,
The start-stop
it's rough.
needs to be more refined because like it shuts off the engine often, especially if you're in like slow, like in congested roads, and we're from Toronto, we know what traffic looks like. It'll shut the engine off at 2 kilometers an hour, and then you actually just still want to creep forward, so then you can wait, and then you hear it, you feel it, and you can't turn it off permanently. You have to turn it off for every little, like every time you start the car. It's not a problem here out in the country, but if you're a little more traffic, it's not quite as nice. But there we go. Like it drives fine. It's better than most subcompact SUVs. Probably in line with level with like a luxury product would deliver you. It's a bit more. It drives a bit nicer, but we don't have like any steering feel. But like I said, once again, base X1. You can get the M package, which
might
is
change
dual
that
suspension, and you get the proper M Sport, right? So this can be a lot more fun. Also fuel consumption. I think that's where the bringing up after we had a few subcompacts that used what was it, like 12 liters?
Honda
and Buick. This is sitting right now, because we had a lot. This is sitting about 9 liters per 100 kilometers.
Yeah.
Of course, premium gas, but fairly power and fuel efficient. But do you want to drive?
Come on, get the hell out of the way.
All right.
Kidding, that was do it again.
How dare you?
I do have to say, getting in and out of these doors, the door handles are really solid. We mentioned that, and the doors themselves, minus this. I mean, the exterior door handles.
Oh yeah, like opening the door, closing the door.
Super solid, and the actual door itself is just
It has a very nice weight to it.
It's hefty.
Yeah, and it feels quality. You do feel the quality throughout this car. But yeah.
Oops. Yeah, I just love the sound.
There you go.
Driving this car with the window open, I just love listening to the sound of the turbos.
Oh yeah, let me just actually go up here a little bit because I'm a little too small now. But yeah, I'm just going to put you into one of our fun drive modes. Let's put you into digital art.
Wow.
Because we have expressive and digital art. Quantum Garden, made in 2022, a digital piece of art from artist Sao Phi, or whatever you pronounce.
Perfect to distract you from the road, right?
Yeah, so now your gauge cluster is literally just digital art.
So
And
am
we
I
have,
supposed to look at that while I'm driving?
well, that's the conundrum, right? That's
Right.
the question here.
That sounds like a lawsuit.
No, but I don't know. This is BMW being a little goofy, I guess.
That's a bit extra.
But I'll stick to sport and personal, mostly personal, because I just like how this drives. But let's continue with that suspension-wise. What do you think?
Suspension was pretty good. Now it's tough to compare coming from, I was driving the Ioniq 6 half this week, which had a superior suspension in my opinion.
Yeah, it was also more expensive,
of course,
and all that.
Of course, it's not a comparable. But just coming from that to this, I noticed a little bit of a more firm ride. Not bad though.
No, I dig it. Honestly, I like it. You do feel like, especially here, these small imperfections, you do feel them. But I think they get absorbed really well. You feel them, but they're not like uncomfortable. It's still a good ride. And similarly, noise levels are actually quite good in this.
Very
good.
good.
This is a quiet cab, and no, of course, it's not like 3 Series or E-Class quiet or anything like that. But you definitely feel the step up compared to regular SUV, regular subcompacts from like a Kia. So this is definitely more premium. This is more luxury and more kind of just feels better all around.
As it should.
Exactly. Lastly, tech. The caveat here is we don't have the driver assist package. It's a $2,000 package that gives you driver, like adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, emergency braking, all that. I would personally probably spec that, but right now it's not spec'd here, so we don't really have many assists. Just regular cruise control, not adaptive. It's just the default luxury thing of we nickel and dime you.
That's just how BMW is. There's so many, you know, the base price is low, but there's so many options. You can spend 10, 15 grand on options.
It's like, yeah, this technically starts at 46, but does it really? You know,
I mean,
like once you actually make this functional.
You want heated seats and all that, it's $3,400 or something like that?
Yeah, so there's a couple of packages.
The premium essential?
Aspect, yeah, aspect this, yeah, $3,400 for like the premium essential, which gives the front heated seats and all that.
Steering wheel, yeah.
But aspect, this has everything pretty much except for
the $2,000
driver assist package. This is $54,485 Canadian.
It's a surprising bargain, honestly.
Yeah, like I kind of hate to say this, but this is a good value.
Yeah, I mean, we're both coming from two people who are typically, especially Eric, who is German himself.
Yes.
He's very critical of German cars regarding their value.
Yeah, because often, like, and that's how, yeah, they often just don't deliver the value compared to what you can get in other products. Often they just, honestly, you get like 10% more for 50% more, it feels like. But that's why I also started the review saying, like, you know, they never really offer the value or the luxury. But this X1 just delivers. First of all, it is so extremely nice. Spoiler alert, we have an EQE. That's $120,000. It is way worse.
Oh, yeah.
The interior is way worse in that car.
Don't even get me started.
It's like, it's a fun review. You'll see us probably get very mad and disappointed. So watch that, subscribe, and hit the bell. But first of all, this delivers. Speaking GLA, this blows the GLA out of the water. Like, don't bother unless you want the Mercedes brand for some reason.
And what's the price difference there, approximately?
So if you really spec them out, they go for similar, maybe plus 2,000 on that GLA. But this interior is far superior in both material, quality, variety, and just everything feels way more solid built. Driving wise, honestly, it's a wash. Like, both of them drive very nice. None of them are sports cars.
Right.
But the value, honestly, is here. And yeah.
I took one of my friends yesterday for a little test drive last night, and he, you know, was shocked.
And he's not a fan of luxury cars.
No, and he
always
saw this
loves
car,
premium stuff like Mazda, right? But
I saw his face, and he was like considering this car as an option for himself.
It's like legit a great product, and honestly, like if you're looking for a smaller SUV, that's nice. This is 100% a recommendation of mine.
And you don't need to spec it out. You can get this for like 50K.
Yeah, you can get it for 50, which is an amazing price.
Yeah,
really good. Anyhow, I think that concludes our review. Good job, BMW. I'm really curious to see how you guys stack up to the higher price Mercedes is and that, because you kind of started beating them with your cheapest car already.
Yeah.
But find out in our future reviews. So thank you so much for watching.
If you guys enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, hit the bell, because we're going to try to get a lot more fun cars, hopefully some more Beamers.
Oh, there's some good stuff coming, I can tell you. And thanks and goodbye.
See you guys.